officially the last game of the tournament. Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is playing with the white pieces. He's got 1 extra minute, but his opponent, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, is getting the draw odds. And no one should be fooled. It's not forever this time advantage starting from move 60. So the point is, of course, to survive to move 60. But starting from move 60, there will be an increment.
Well, we might see some actual drama going on somewhere around move 40 or 50 when the players will be really down on the clock. But let's not jump forward to the conclusions. The players have played out Kings, Indian, presumably a good setup for black, and the players are blitzing out the moves.
Yeah, well, it makes a lot of sense because, yeah, now the thing you want to have the least is that you lose on time. I mean, we're in a good position, right? Well, and Shach, I think he's no longer playing Kings Indian in the, say, tournament games, classical games, but of course he is keen to try. Well, and the C5. It's not...
Did they miss it?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think it's such a great move by MVL. Well, the thing is, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is not a d4 player. So,
C4, point being, I mean, black could not take on C5 because white would play knight e6 and presumably take off this bishop on g7, which makes the life so much easier.
Okay, takes, e4.
But black is in trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure of this knight c6 played by Mamedyarov. So bishop to e6, well, at least he is trying to hold the d5 square. So e takes, bishop takes, no, pawn takes.
And now you want to reposition the knight on d4, targeting all of the weaknesses, presumably. Okay, but knight e2, you have to understand what happens after bishop f5, so it's easier said than done.
Yeah, well, bishop f5 is on black's agenda anyway, yeah, right? And then the other pawn is ready to replace the pawn from c6. So c7, c6 is the very next move. If allowed, then bishop f5, of course, is always there.
And look, and Shak has won back the extra minute. He is already ahead in time.
Yeah, and white's position doesn't seem to be that great as well. So... yeah, Mamedyarov is ahead on the clock. He only needs a draw, but he failed to make a draw twice already in this tournament when he needed it so desperately. Queen to e7 attacking the c5 pawn. Right. Rook to c1 and rook to d8. So the pawn is protected. Now it feels like a time to go to play knight to e7 and...
if I'm white, I'm really thinking how to transport my knight to d4, but it's
yeah, you
not
want
so
to put
easy
the knight on
it.
d4, but it's precisely as you said, it's not that easy to do.
So black seems quite solid and he is doing very well on time, so it's gonna be not easy for Maxime to prove. I mean, he has to win, he has no choice anyway, and he is already down on time, 2.5 minutes versus Mamedyarov's 3 minutes, and let us remind you, there is no increment until move 60, and they have played almost only 20 moves.
That's only 20 moves, yeah. Queen to d7, targeting the pawn on h3, king h2, h5.
So all it comes down, I mean, who has the stronger nerves? I mean, who can hold the pressure more easily?
So the question, do you jump to e4 or not? That's important. Bishop to f5.
So finally, Maxime played this knight e2, bishop f5 was played, and c6.
Whoa,
what is that?
c6, not an obvious move.
Can you take the... No, you cannot, obviously. Right.
Yeah, so c6, queen d6, queen goes to f4. So while it seems Vachier-Lagrave is inclined to play some endgame, queen takes, knight takes, there is still this c6 pawn alive, yeah?
And the d pawn runs forward, doesn't it? I mean, you can swap the rooks and the d pawn runs forward.
Oh, you take on e1, you go d4, you mean? Yeah. Looks like it makes sense, but the c6 pawn then is alive.
It can become a problem at a later stage, right?
Yeah, it's like irritating having this pawn on c6. So that's the question, if you do or don't do this. Takes and rook d6 is another option, trying to get rid of this c6 pawn, but then again, white might have and probably does have some ideas.
So it's not an easy choice for Shakhriyar.
d4 immediately. Takes and takes with the knight. Okay, guarding c7 just in case, guarding the d4 pawn with the bishop from g7. But once again, Shakhriyar is sort of getting stuck. There is no obvious counterplay, and this is usually what you try to avoid because, yeah, especially being short on time. I mean, it's very hard.
25 moves made, and Shakhriyar is down to 1 minute 45 seconds. He cannot afford to sit for too long. H4 is a nice move.
H4,
with the point being after G4, he's threatened to play Bishop E5, so White cannot really do this.
Bishop to F1, okay, H takes, F takes, A5. Yeah, because the pawn on A6, in fact, was hanging. Didn't pay attention to this at first, but the pawn on A6 was hanging. So now the bishop can be relocated to C4, but of course then you watch out for knight D6, yeah? Knight to D6, bishop to D5. Where the knight is going, knight B5, knight C3 maybe?
Yeah, knight B5, knight C3 makes sense, but can you play actually knight C3? I'm not so sure, because there's the spin of the rook, so you need to secure it.
Of course. Yeah,
this is why you play rook D6 and knight C3 is incoming. Well,
it's getting low and low on the clock.
Lower on the clock, and players still need to make good 30 moves to get those additional 2 seconds. It might be just over before that, because we are going to enter
D3, well, Shah takes. Knight C3. Well,
what is this?
What's this? This attacks the A pawn. A4, knight to D5.
Knight B5 is knight maneuver, rerouting knight to B4.
Bishop A3, though, yeah. Well, he decided not to go knight b4, which was possible because it did look somewhat dangerous, right? Maybe he will end up playing knight b4 no matter what.
38 moves made, so essentially both of the players need to make 20 moves with the last minute remaining.
So king g1.
This is the moment when the tournament is going to be decided. Unless somebody is going to blunder something, I hope not, definitely. I hope we are going to see a logical end, but you can feel the excitement.
F5. Okay, king f2, king f7. So finally, bringing the king closer. That's the moment. Yeah, White sort of runs out of active ideas unless he will decide to play b3, b4 at some point, create the A passed pawn. Yeah, b4 takes, bishop takes, and now A pawn.
Rook b8 is a nice move, activating the rook, and look at that. And essentially, Maxime is down on the clock. He has 40 seconds versus Mamedyarov's 50.
And how many moves made? I'm sorry, 40.
40 moves something.
So still,
the live feed is lagging behind, obviously, because this game is playing so quickly, and things are not exactly looking great for Maxime. I mean, he has to play for the win here, but how do you do it?
Yeah, now it feels absolutely safe for black. Very active pieces. Yeah, a check, bishop e2, so he can... seems like any moment he can take on g3, take on e2, but
he decides to play it safe.
Yeah, king f6. So as long as the rook is behind the pass pawn, there nothing bad can happen.
46, 47 moves made, so both of the players need to make at least 13 moves, and Maxime is down on the clock, 18 seconds. So everything is going to be decided right now.
Rook a5 is a possibility. Rook
right,
a5,
you can just take the pawn. So he takes the pawn. So
check here.
Check.
King f4, knight c3.
No, that's a draw. No, that's not a draw.
That's not a draw anymore. Check
Unbelievable.
Here.
What is going on? Rook a2 is a threat. I mean, there are two bishops.
Well, rook d3 first. But this time, yeah, this time he's... bishop b6, what's going on?
Unbelievable. These are probably the last moves I've imagined.
Rook f1, and then c-pawn is very dangerous. d2.
What bishop is going on
what's going
here?
on? Yeah. But at some point they'll reach the increment stage.
Wow.
And what happened?
What happened?
And what happened?
I mean, they shake hands. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, it feels like... No, I'm really not sure. Did he lose on time?
No, he did not lose on time.
Well, because it felt like Shah was so disappointed with...
Black has won.
Well, Black has won.
Black has won. It was official. It was very confusing.
I know. He has won on time, in fact. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well.
Unbelievable.
What a game that was.